This brief video introduces a new and important concept called cognitive buoyancy, which represents our ability to trigger our own innovative thinking. Cognitive buoyancy does this by helping us overcome one of the major killers of innovation, a cognitive bias called unconscious incompetence. And this is a bias that every single one of us is negatively impacted by all the time. Let's have a look at how this works. What you see here is a diagram showing four basic states of cognition or thinking during our natural learning process. On the x-axis, it indicates relative levels of competence, or the acquisition of new knowledge. On the y-axis, it indicates relative levels of consciousness, or our awareness of that knowledge. In the lower left quadrant, you can see we have low consciousness and low competence, or what we might call unconscious incompetence. In this state, we don't know what we don't know, or more precisely, the fact that we are all, to some degree, not aware of some knowledge that we need, but don't yet have. What comes next in this process is that somehow you do become aware of the knowledge that you need, but don't yet have. And when that happens, you rise up to the top left quadrant of conscious incompetence. You are now aware of knowledge that you need, and although you haven't got it yet, at least now you can prioritize doing something about it. And so you pursue some deliberate form of education, for example. Upon receiving that education, you transition over to the top right quadrant of conscious competence. You finally acquired the knowledge that you need. After practicing this new knowledge or skill enough times, it becomes second nature, and you don't have to consciously think about it anymore. You just do it. This happens, for example, through neuroplasticity. At this point, you then slip back down to the bottom right quadrant, or unconscious competence. The different states of cognition in this cycle are unique. It's often helpful to think of them using more familiar terms. For example, unconscious incompetence can be thought of as naivete. Conscious incompetence can be referred to as humility. You can think of conscious competence as enlightenment. And to some degree, unconscious competence is the early manifestation of mastery. And that's where a lot of people think this learning cycle ends. But unfortunately, they are wrong. The problem with all of us, and especially those in a high pressure, high visibility, high uncertainty scenario, is that the cycle may appear to end there, but something in the environment, or even within you or within a key stakeholder's condition, changes. A new industry regulation comes into effect. A competitor arrives on the scene. The economy takes a nosedive, or perhaps a revolutionary technology platform emerges. Any of this sort of event can happen without you being aware of it. Either way, there is a new need for knowledge, but now, again, you're unaware of that need. You slip back into the bottom left quadrant and again, naively, have no inclination to look for or acquire that knowledge. But this time it is an even greater challenge. We are not just naive at this point, rather, because we've already completed the above cycle, we've become confident in this new knowledge and perhaps even more set in our ways as a result. In fact, the more learning we do acquire, what often happens is that we become overconfident. Now, this overconfidence can become a real problem. It is, in fact, a new cognitive bias that is very difficult to escape from. You wind up with blind spots in your planning or design. You're unaware of the risks that you face until it's too late. You fail to consider important alternative choices for strategic direction, or you are simply unaware of both looming threats and brilliant opportunities that are right around the corner. Now, the reason that cognitive buoyancy is so important is that it helps you to make that crucial move out of the state of being naive. Other mindsets that tend to lock you into this quadrant might be this overconfidence, but they might also be observed as complacency, fear-based stagnation, or even arrogance. The important goal is for cognitive buoyancy to help you ascend upward into the state of humility. If you're an executive business leader, you can use various resources to help stimulate this mindset. If you're a coach, it's your responsibility to help your clients pull themselves upward out of the unconscious state in which they're currently mired. The cost of not doing this is to retain your blind spots, risk making serious errors in design and execution, and lose precious time, money, opportunity, and other vital resources. Regardless, the question remains, what do we do about this? Well, that is precisely the rationale behind developing the construct of cognitive buoyancy. In essence, this is defined as an individual's propensity to access their higher order thinking, something that is a necessity for deliberate innovation. It is this buoyancy that counters the otherwise natural hyper tendency toward automatic unconscious thinking. This is all based very consistently with the neuroscientific evidence found in Daniel Kahneman's research within Thinking Fast and Slow. Luckily, cognitive buoyancy can be measured, and it also can be developed and enhanced. This through various interventions such as workshops and training in specific innovation tools, models, methods, and triggers. Well, here's some basic information for getting in touch with me. Please give me a call if you'd like to learn more and receive a free research report that was presented, peer-reviewed, and published by an international innovation society and journal. This tool set is being used by or actively considered for implementation within some of the most prestigious organizations in the world as we speak.